A watchdog group in New Jersey is going after landlords who are turning down tenants because they have Section 8 vouchers. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting story for you today, and it's coming out of the state of New Jersey. So as you know, a lot of the states, especially in the more progressive, left-leaning, Democrat-run areas, they have these laws that basically require landlords to accept tenants with Section 8 vouchers. So the choice is no longer up to the landlord in these places, and you have to abide by these laws or they're going to come after you, right? And the story I'm covering today, there's actually a watchdog group that is trying to go after these landlords who are not accepting Section 8 vouchers. So the whole purpose behind this group is to get landlords caught up. Give me a break, okay? Like, if you're not accepting Section 8 vouchers, I completely understand, but to think that, oh, these people, they feel so entitled, these tenant rights groups feel so entitled that they are actually going to go after the landlord, and they're not even part of the government, okay? They're not like, oh, this is the housing agency or whatever. No, this is just some other private group, right? Probably funded by the government, of course. But, it's still, it's very frustrating hearing about these sort of stories. So as I say, always obey the law in the places where you invest, okay, where you're a landlord. Regardless of if you agree with it or not, it's just not worth it to get caught up into this sort of trap, right? And these landlords in this story, or this real estate agents in this story, man, they ended up paying hefty fines because they disobeyed the law. So it's a situation where I say, I don't agree with these laws. I don't want to invest in any place that has these sort of laws. But if you do, you have to obey it, okay? Or you have to be a little bit more slick to be able to get around it. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. So the people in this story, they got caught up because they were just very blatant in saying, I will not accept Section 8 vouchers, right? That's dumb. In a place that has these sort of laws, and just coming out and just saying it, possibly being recorded, it's just dumb, okay? So instead, a lot of landlords are going to figure out some way they can work their way around having to deal with the whole issue. So, for example, right, somebody could come up and be like, oh, I have a Section 8 voucher. Oh, yes, we do accept Section 8 vouchers. But then rejecting that person for another reason because they have the voucher, okay? So they would still be rejecting the person with the voucher, but they would not get caught up or recorded saying that they are specifically rejecting this person because of it, okay? Or that they don't accept vouchers. That's dumb, like you would never, if I was investing in one of these places, never catch me ever saying, oh, no, I don't accept Section 8, knowing that they are trying to get you caught up, knowing that they want to punish landlords and they think that you're nothing but a greedy, bad person, okay? So yeah, if you're a landlord in these places with these laws, wise up, okay? Use your brain, but don't let yourself get caught on on a recording saying that, hey, I'm not going to accept a Section 8 voucher and I don't want to deal with it, because where you're at, that's illegal, okay? And like I said, you should obey the law. Anyway, let's get into this article. I'll let you know the kind of fines that these people ended up having to pay. And it's like I said, it's pretty hefty. This article is coming from tapinto.net, and it says, real estate agent fined for refusing Section 8 voucher. One of the landlords was in Hackensack. Right, and I don't really know New Jersey very well, so I couldn't tell you where Hackensack is. So anyway, let's get into the article and see what it says. A local landlord was ensnared in a test for housing discrimination when the landlord refused to rent to an individual using a Section 8 housing voucher to pay rent, according to the state attorney general. Attorney General Matthew J. Platkin announced on June 7th that the New Jersey Division on Civil Rights has resolved 4 cases alleging that Caldwell Banker Realty, a real estate brokerage company, violated the New Jersey law against discriminations, prohibition against housing discrimination based on source of lawful income. Under the LAD, housing providers cannot refuse to rent to potential tenants or discourage them from renting because they receive government rental assistance, right? And so I don't know, like they said that the people who were found to have broken this were this real estate agency, right? This real estate brokerage. Now, I don't know if the real estate brokerage or the person, involved actually owned the properties or if they were just acting as a property manager. But in either case, right, you need to follow the law of your local jurisdiction. Now, if you are a real estate agency and you're managing properties for someone else, it is your job specifically to be on top of, the changes in landlord-tenant law within the state. So it's no excuse to say, oh, I didn't know that this was the law. And, you ended up getting the landlord who employs you fined thousands of dollars by the state of New Jersey because you broke it. Or, and I understand if your boss is sitting there saying, hey, I don't want to rent to Section 8 tenants. Well, you have to tell them, listen, we can't tell these people that. We can't tell them. I can't come out and just say, hey, I'm not renting to you because the landlord doesn't want Section 8 up in here. You just can't do that, okay? You have to think of some other way. You still have to, I would go ahead, take their application, run them, and keep in mind, right? Section 8 tenants a lot of the times are very bottom tier tenants, okay? So most of them don't have good credit. Most of them don't have a great employment history or great source of income, okay? You can easily find other reasons to reject them. It doesn't take much. And if they are really a top tier tenant with, a great employment history, they have the Section 8 voucher, they have a great employment history, no evictions on their record, no other issues whatsoever, you got to sit here and wonder, well, why the heck are you on Section 8 then? See, that's the problem though, right? Section 8 tenants aren't that good. It would be easy to reject them for something else. Now, I'm not saying to do that, right? But I understand that's what some landlords are going to do in these places, okay? Now, me personally, I don't have anything to worry about. I invest in Nebraska. Nebraska doesn't have any of those stupid laws, okay? So I can reject a Section 8 tenant for being on Section 8 like that. So, keep in mind, right? I do want you to obey the law. I'm not getting on here and telling you to lie, to cheat, to steal, right? But you should keep your criteria for tenants the same, regardless of whether a person is on Section 8 or not. So if you require a person to have at least a 700 credit score, doesn't matter if they are on Section 8 or not, right? They still need to have that 700 credit score. If you don't want any evictions on their record to rent to them, doesn't matter, okay? Now keep in mind, New Jersey probably has rules against rejecting people with previous evictions or rules against rejecting people with criminal history. But if you are able to use other things to, in order to get rid of those people that you don't want in your unit, then do so, okay? But keep your criteria the same and don't lower your criteria so that you can take a Section 8 tenant because you think that's the only way you can comply with the law. In the settlements announced more than a week ago, 3 of the 4 properties that were subjects of housing rights initiatives complaints were located in Jersey City, while the 4th was in Hackensack. The Caldwell Banker Realty offices involved are in Hoboken, Jersey City, and Upper Montclair. We are standing up for New Jerseyans and their right to access housing using government rental assistance, said Attorney General Platkin. The settlements announced June 7th send a clear message. If you impede or hinder that access, we will hold you accountable. The law against discrimination is one of the strongest civil rights laws in the country, and we are not afraid to use it. To me, it sounds like they're trying to make an example because, they obviously won't be able to go after every single landlord who is rejecting Section 8. but they're going to make an example and hope that the others are like scared, you know. So let me get down to the part where they talk about how much the fines were that the realtor ended up paying. Caldwell Banker Realty agreed to pay a $10,000 penalty to DCR for the alleged violation in each case, for a total of $40,000 in penalties. In separate settlements with HRI, Caldwell Banker Realty also agreed to refrain from discriminating on the basis of the source of lawful income, to provide fair housing training for employees, and to make available voucher knowledgeable staff to assist agents with processing housing vouchers. So yeah, $10,000 for each instance for a grand total of $40,000. And who's going to get that money? I mean, really? So it's just going to line the pockets of the state, you know, going to government payroll, I guess, to justify them having these stupid programs in place in the first place. So yeah, I never want to see this sort of law passed here, okay? And this is exactly what landlords and property owners can expect if these sort of laws pass where you live and where you invest. So that's why I say we've got to fight against this. You know, they're just going after landlords over this garbage, and it's not actually helping people who are Section 8 fined housing. It's not, because it's making it more expensive for landlords to operate. It's making it so that there's less landlords who are willing to operate because they got to comply with these rules, and there's going to be less housing available, which means that prices are going to go up. So yeah, they can't figure this stuff out. It's too complicated for them. But anyway, if you're interested in this story, I'll put a link to the article in the description down below.